ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानार्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथस्वामिति नामने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिति नामने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवं गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, welcome to our Gita study session. We are in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So this chapter is titled Karma Yoga. Karma is action. Karma has different meanings. It has 5 meanings: action or reaction to an action, right? So it varies, depends on the context it is used. But in this context, in the third chapter, it is action. Karma means action, a work, and yoga means a path, a process by which we can connect to the Lord. Karma Yoga. So in this chapter, Krishna talks about the importance of working, importance of work, why one has to work living in this world. So in connection with the previous chapter, in the second chapter, when Arjuna heard this from Krishna, that Arjuna has to work like a karma yogi, purify mind, purify consciousness, then he can come to the stage of a liberated soul, where he totally remained undisturbed in this world and can attain liberation. And Arjuna thought, if my goal is to attain liberation by following the process of Gnana Yoga, meditation process, then why should I work? Why can't I go to the forest and work on my liberation? Why should I work? Why are you engaging me in this fight, Krishna? So then Krishna says, so that path of Gnana Yoga that requires renunciation is for someone who has already perfected in the Karma Yoga, who has already perfected, who has already purified his mind and consciousness, right? And Krishna also says, work is natural. Everybody has to work. Even one goes to the forest to meditate, he still has to eat. He still has to brush his teeth. It's natural. He has to work. At least work for their bodily needs. He has to do something. If he doesn't brush his teeth, doesn't take bath, he cannot even focus on the God. He cannot even meditate. Body itself doesn't support if he doesn't eat. So that's why Krishna is saying that is unnatural. Everybody has to work. Everybody will work. But without the purification of the mind, without purification of consciousness, one goes to the forest and tries to imitate like a renunciate, he will create problem to himself and all to people around him. So Krishna is totally rejecting that artificial renunciation without purification of mind. Krishna is again emphasizing that, Arjuna, you do work. So, and Krishna also says, if a person artificially renounces, go to the forest and try to meditate without purification of mind, instead of sitting at home nicely enjoying, if he goes to the forest and thinks about all the worldly things for enjoyment, such a person is called a pretender. He uses strong words here from here on. Pretender. It's best for you, Arjuna, to live a worldly life, live a life, have a family life, don't need to artificially renounce, and you can still be called as a renunciate. This is very, very important point. So one would think like, I need to go to the forest and to attain liberation. No, Krishna is saying no. You can still live a family life and you can attain liberation, and you can still be called as a renunciate. You can still be called as a renunciate. When you learn Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya. Like utilizing everything. Like this house belongs to the Supreme Lord. Right? This is a gift by the God to me. I'm utilizing for this purpose. If it is present, I'll use it. If not, I'm not disturbed. Right? I don't hanker for anything. So that way one can live a life of a renunciate, undisturbed. So that's what Krishna is driving Arjuna towards doing his duty. It is very much practical and applicable to us too. Right? And in the second section from 10 to 16, Krishna talks about this karma kanda. Karma kanda. So how Krishna made this system, whole system of this universe, how things work in this universe. Right? Krishna says he created this universe, through Brahma. Krishna does the primary creation, all the ingredients, right? Like earth, water, fire, air, ether, various things. He creates primary creation. And secondary creation is done by Lord Brahma, like various universe planetary systems and so forth. So Krishna is saying, I created this universe. I put people, again through the Brahma though, but I put living beings on the earthly planet, some living beings on the heavenly planet, right? And different planetary systems. And I made a system by which everything works, right? People living in the earth planet, we need food to eat, we need water to drink, we need oxygen, we breathe, we eat, all those necessities, who will take care of? That is the demigods. Krishna introduces the topic of demigods. Demigods are the subordinates of the Lord, who are like ministers of the Lord, who work for the Lord to provide all the facilities to the living entities on the earth planet. So just like a government of USA, if there is a country made, there will be a system made, right? So government provide all the facilities like roads, water. There is a department, right? Department of Transportation, Department of Water, Department of Electricity. Likewise, these exist in our system also, in government system also. Similarly, in this universe also, there are different departments. Department of Air, Vayudeva, Department of Electricity, Surya Deva, like that. Varuna Deva, Department of Water, like that. Various departments exist, celestial beings. Right? So, and we living beings on this earth, we are in need of something, right? We need food to survive, and all the air to proper air to breathe. All those things are provided by these celestial beings, demigods. So how do we work with them? With the process of yajna, right? So nothing comes for free. Right? Even government also charges some tax. So Krishna is saying this process is called yajna. Nothing comes for free. Water, air, water, or electricity, sun, whatever, nothing comes for free. So we have to work with certain people to get these things, right? So that is demigods. By the process of yajna, we connect with them, and when they are pleased, they bestow various things to us for proper living in this universe for everybody. Okay, so demigods are providing this to us, just like a government ministers or departments provides things to the people in the general people in the counties. Right? So similarly, the demigods who are providing to us, we are taking all the natural resources. We also are obligated to return it back, offer in return, like a return gift. When you go to a party or birthday parties, there is a return gift policy, right? We get some, we'll go there and they'll give it back, right? So same thing, like a return gift. What God expects from us, right? What these demigods expect from us. There are 33 crore, 330 million demigods. We can't satisfy each and every demigod. Krishna says, I'm the Yagna Purusha. You offer it to me. When I am pleased, everybody is pleased. That is the Yagna one has to follow. Right? Offer it to the Supreme Lord. When the Supreme Lord is pleased, everybody is pleased. All the demigods, 33 crore demigods. We don't need to work through or work with each demigod. Everybody is pleased, and there is a system naturally runs. Right? So again, in 12, 13, and 14 verses, we did this. We'll go in detail. In 13 verse, Krishna says, if a person getting from the nature but doesn't give it back, he uses the natural resources for his own enjoyment. Such a person is called a thief. Another strong word. Such a person is called a thief. And he again further says, he eats for his own enjoyment. He eats only sin. Another strong word. So we'll try to look in detail into that in today's verse. Okay, so this we started, this verse we started in our previous session, but I'll quickly go through. I'll just skip the Sanskrit here. So translation, the devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. Are we eating only sin every day? So we go to the store, we buy, cook the food and eat. Krishna is saying that is sin. We are eating only sin. It's strange. It's new to us, right? And that's what the Bhagavad Gita is. Bhagavad Gita is a manual for humanity where Krishna says what to do and what not to do, how to live a life in a way which can elevate our consciousness, help us towards liberation, right? Purpose of life fulfilled. So Krishna is saying here, a person who takes from the nature, offers it back as a sacrifice, he will be released from all sins. There is no karma. There is no sin. But if he cooks or takes from the nature for his own enjoyment, he is eating only sin. Yapachanti atmakaranat. Yapachanti atmakaranat. Atmakaranat means for his own enjoyment. Agam papa. That's what Krishna is saying. Agam papa. You are eating only sin. So let's understand this. Let's try to analyze this and understand a little more. So we'll get more clarity on this one, why Krishna is saying that. So in our Vedic culture, we do this. We do this offering, right? So if you buy a car, right, before we enjoy the car, we go to a temple and do this puja to the car. It's not like we are worshipping the car, but we are worshipping the Supreme Lord, right? And we are offering to the Supreme Lord. God, this is yours, given by you. I'm utilizing it for this purpose. I mean, when we do the puja, we think like, okay, I want to be the safe in the car. I want my car also to be the safe. I want my families who are riding on the car to be safe. I mean, that is external thing. That's good. There's an internal meaning to it. Why we do this puja, right? Car puja. We're offering to the Lord, right? When we take the key, if you go to Hindu temple or you see people, puja takes the key and puts on the feet of the Lord, right? That means we are giving to the Lord. God, you give to me. You give to me. I got this from you. I'm giving you back. So that kind of system we have in our culture, in a Sanatana Dharma, right? So people do like offering back if they get their first salary, right? Some people also donate in every salary, like 1%, 2%, or 10%. They return it back. They give it back to the Supreme Lord. They donate to the temples as an offering to the Lord. We offer that, right? And if someone buys a house, they bring Supreme Lord into that. They carry the photos, pictures of the Lord. They take the deities into the house and they install the God. And he says, God, this is your house. Later we enjoy, though that's a different thing, but that's what the Gruha Pravesha Puja we do, like we offer it to the Lord, right? That's why when the God is in that house, it brings auspiciousness to the entire house and also the people around us in the house. And also clothes we offer, right? So during festivals we buy. My mom used to teach me, like, if before you take, you just buy it and offer it to the Lord during Sankranti or Dashera or any other festivals, Diwali. We offer to the Lord and take it as a prasada. That's intrinsic in our culture, very integrated in our culture of Sanatana Dharma. Right? So Krishna is talking about other thing, just as like how we offer, you offer food also, what you take from the nature, the natural resources, offer to the Lord. So that is very integral part of our lifestyle. Krishna is saying here, offer food also like that, right? So we do offer, right? Yes, we do offer food to the Lord during festival times. Any festival we take, Dasra, Diwali, or Navaratri Puja or anything, we cook the food, offer to the Lord, and take it as prasadam. We do that. So what Krishna is saying, do it every day, every meal, not just on occasionally, not just on festivals. Do it for every meal you do it. Then you'll be relieved from all karmic reactions through this food, by which you eat food. Food carries karma. When you offer to the Lord, every meal, there is no karma. That's what Krishna is saying in this verse. Okay, we'll try to analyze this. Yeah, we do offer food to the Lord, right? So what to offer food? What kind of food we offer? So when you go to the temple, what kind of food they offer to the Lord? It's a sattvic food. So food is in the three modes: mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. Right? Sattvika food, tamasika food, and rajasika food and tamasika food. Sattvic food is something which is soft, nice food, which we eat in the temple like prasadam, right? That's called sattvic food. Rajasic food is spicy, extra spicy, full masaladar. And tamasic food is putrid food, spoiled food, right? So people eat different types of food, right? So when we eat the food in the mode of goodness, it brings good consciousness. Our consciousness is also purified, right? So we will be in the mode of goodness. We are what we eat, in simple, right? We eat the tamasic food, all the putrid food, then our we'll be lazy, tired, all these qualities manifest in us. It's very, very practical. You can try out. Just like if you're enrolling a child into a basketball or a volleyball, there is a tryouts. You can try out one day, put them in summer camp, and there is a tryout. You can see if that works out. Right? So similarly, we can try out and see, like, if you're what kind of food we are eating and how it impacts our consciousness. We can try out and see. I'm saying this, like, all the putrid food. If a person eats all the putrid food, spoiled food, leftovers food from weeks, months, every day for 1 month, he'll be really lazy, tired. His mind doesn't function well. Right? If a person eats spicy, all extra spicy, extra sour food, right? Food in the Rajasic food. There is a big category of that list. Krishna gives that in further chapters of Bhagavad Gita, all the details of food categories. So if a person eats the food which is in Rajasic food, he'll develop those Rajasic qualities, aggressive, always disturbed, restless mind. But if a person eats the sattvic food, that food which is something which can be offered to the Lord, right? So sattvic food, the mind is purified, consciousness, we are in the mode of goodness. We will get the sattvic qualities, clear-minded, no confusion, right? Perfect and peaceful mind. So Krishna is saying that is good, more of eating the food in the mode of goodness is good. But better than that is the food which is prasadam. It's not a bhoga like a prasadam, right? Which is offered to the Lord. what Lord does, he removes all the sin within the food. Our food becomes karma-free food. So one may question why food has a karma. Why food has a karma, right? So there are many factors involved in this. It's quite complicated. So we know, we go to the store, Indian store or any store, Snooks, Walmart, Costco, or whatever store, we go and buy and we eat it. We don't care how that is produced, right? So, but behind the scenes, there are many things happening. There is a farmer, they'll cultivate the food, and he also use various things, pesticides or whatnot, all the things he produce, right? So we don't know how many insects he killed just to produce a food for us, right? And during time, when he sells that food to the store people, right? So we don't know whether that is in, he sold it for a profit or loss. And we like that, likewise, various factors are involved. And even food also has a life, right? They are also souls. Like plants, they have souls. For our enjoyment, we are killing knowingly or unknowingly many things. So that's why there is a karma involved in the food. And Krishna is saying, when one eats the food for his own enjoyment, he'll get sin. When one eats the food which is offered to the Lord, accepts as prasada, God takes care of cleaning all the sins within the food, and the food becomes karma-free food. Food becomes karma-free food. God takes care of cleaning the karma within the food, right? And what are the benefits of eating karma-free food? Right? So food has an impact on our consciousness, right? So what are the food we eat? Our consciousness is like that. I talked about mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance foods like sattvika food, rajasika food, tamsika food. Food has impact on our consciousness. So there is a saint who said the same thing, like food has an impact on your consciousness, to a student. And that student said, really, how is that? I don't believe so. Then teacher said, okay, you don't eat. You are eating 3 times a day. Eat 1 time a day, only 1 time a day. And after 2 days, you stop eating altogether. Then this student tried eating 1 time a day and stopped eating, subsisting only on water. Then he came back. The student came back, and the teacher asked this question, like, do you see any impact? Yes. What is the impact? The student says, I cannot focus on anything. My mind is always disturbed. I can't live like this. I need to eat. Right? So food has impact on our mind and consciousness. It nourishes our body, brings peace of mind in our consciousness, provided when we eat the proper food. When we eat the junk food in the Rajasic mode, like meat, leftovers food, putrid food, then that has a bad impact on our consciousness. Okay. So that is one thing. Krishna is saying one has to offer the food and accept the food as prasada. Then he'll take care of all the sins within the food. So we'll become sin-free. We'll become sin-free when we eat the food, when we eat the prasadam of the Lord. So when we are not accumulating any new karma, when there is sin-free, we are not accumulating new karma. That means we are working towards liberation. We are not accumulating any new karmas. We are working towards the liberation. Our karmas will get nullified. We are on the right path. Anyway, so in the Manusmriti, so there is a Panchashuna Kritam Papam Pancha Yagnir Vyapohati. So it is said that man, a person living in this world, knowingly or unknowingly commits these 5 mistakes. He commits these mistakes. What are those mistakes? With the broomstick, right? When he's doing the jadu, unknowingly he killed many small insects. And water pot, by taking the water pot, in the olden days, it used to be water pot. Now it is like taps or water bottles or whatnot. Now we put with these things on various places. Unknowingly, we're killing these small insects, right? And the motor, like when you use this mixer grinder, right? And the oven. So these are the different things. So knowingly or unknowingly, we're committing mistakes. We're killing the small insects. And so, and what to speak about, we stomp on small ants knowingly. That is definitely a sin. Unknowingly, if you do, also sin. That's what Krishna is saying. Right? So that's why in our scriptures, in our Vedas, in our scriptures, in Manusmriti, it is said that one has to do certain things as an atonement for these sins we commit. Unknowingly, when we commit sins unknowingly, there is an atonement given. That is different yagnas. Studying the scriptures, offering a gratitude to our Pitri Yagna, like offering a gratitude to our forefathers, and Manusha Yagna, giving some charitable things to people in general, and also feeding animals or all kind of other living beings, right? So that way, it's kind of an atonement we can do. So that way we can be relieved from all this karma, right? All these sins. Right? Are you following this? This is a question we can ask to ourselves. Are you following this? It's so hard, right? So, I mean, we're not really following all this Panchamaha Yajna. So is there an easy path? So that's where the acharyas comes, like various acharyas, Shankaracharya, Madhavacharya, and Srila Prabhupada, and Ramanujacharya, all these acharyas, they kind of simplified again. It's because of the directions from the Supreme Lord. The best yagna and simple and easy yagna which we can perform is Nama Sankirtana Yagna. Nama Sankirtana Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam. So when we do this Nama Sankirtana Yagna, the sins we commit, knowingly or unknowingly, right? Unknowingly we commit so many mistakes. Even knowingly we commit mistakes. Sarva Papa Pranashanam. All this Papa, all the sins can be totally eradicated. So holy name of the Lord is like a forest fire. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, in Padma Purana also it is mentioned that holy name of the Lord, chanting the holy name of the Lord is like a forest fire which can destroy all the sins. Just like when there is a forest fire, huge forest fire, right? So it just cleans up everything, right? So there are so many snakes, there could be so many snakes, right? So many snakes. The forest fire kills all the snakes, right? Similarly, we also have this anardas, negative qualities, negative emotions, right? Lust, greed, anger, jealous, envy, kama, krodha, moha, lobha, everything will be cleansed. Everything will be destroyed by doing this yajna. That is the easiest yajna we could do, Nama Sankirtana yajna. So we may not do all these yajnas which are given in the Vedas, Vedic literatures. The easiest thing we could do, simply doing the Nama Sankirtana yajna or the Japa yajna. Right? Krishna says in later verses of Bhagavad Gita, it's Japa yajna. Chanting the holy name of the Lord and the Japa beats, so by which one can purify consciousness, and that is the best yajna we can do. Okay, so quick insight on the verse. How does yajna help man? By doing this yajna, man is relieved from all kind of sins. There are different yajnas are given, but the easiest yajna is the Nama Sankirtana yajna. When you do the Nama Sankirtana yajna, we'll be relieved from all kind of sins. That is the easiest yajna we can take. So this is the benediction we get from our acharyas and the Supreme Lord. So what happens if we neglect the yajna, if you are not doing the yajna? That is what Krishna is saying. If you don't do the yajna, you're living a life of sin. Water you're eating is nothing but sin. I'm not saying, don't blame me. It's Krishna is saying, God is saying. So we can trust God. Okay, so we'll move on to the next verse. Krishna here talks about this cycle, right? So in the previous verses, he said this, he created this universe, he made various living entities, and how everything works. Krishna says everything works like a cycle, right? So we look at it now. The cycle of sacrifice. So I'll recite the verse. Annad bhavati bhutani parjanya tanna sambhavaha yagnat bhavati parjanyo yajnaha karma samudbhavaha karma brahmodbhavam viddihi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yagne pratishtitam. All living bodies subsist on food grains. Grains are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna. Yajna is born of prescribed duties. Prescribed duties are mentioned in the Vedas. Vedas are directly manifested from the Lord. Consequently, the all-pervading Supreme Lord is eternally situated in acts of sacrifice. Very beautiful verse. In this verse, Krishna talks about entire cosmic creation, how his creation works, how things work in this creation, right? So you can see, look at this picture on the left bottom, right? So there is a celestial realm, right? Celestial realm where demigods reside. Demigods, they have different departments. Indra is a king of all these people. So there is a department of fire, Agni Dev, Vayu Dev, like that, various demigods are there. Okay, and we on this earth planet, when we are in need of something, we follow this yajna. Basically, Krishna is talking about the physical fire sacrifice. That was the yajna in Vedas. Okay, we do this yajna, they are pleased, and they give it back. And there is a mutual coordination between humans and celestial beings. Humans and celestial beings, right? So let's understand in detail. So we on this earth planet, every living entity, whether it is elephant who eats tons of food, or whether it is a small ant which eats tiny food in small grams, milligrams, I think. Everyone depends on food. We all need food. We live on food, right? Is there any person who doesn't eat food? No, everybody eats food. So I have a colleague in my company, the place I work. So he used to carry a big water bottle. I mean, he never eats. I never used to see him in the lunch place or anywhere, but he just carries a big water bottle. I thought maybe he's really thirsty, like throughout the day he drinks water. But I don't see him in anywhere in the lunch place or eating food. Then I asked one day, hey, I mean, I don't see you eating anything. What do you eat? Then he said, I don't eat anything. I'm really shocked. What? You don't eat anything? And he said, yeah, that's true. I don't eat anything. Then what do you eat? How you live? Then he showed this big water bottle. This is what he said. I eat only this. This is my food. I'm like literally shocked. No way. That's not true. You must be eating something. And that's what he said. Like, this is my food. I eat only this. Right? And then I further pressed on him, like, you are lying. You must be eating something. Then he said, I eat only weekly once. I eat weekly once. So that person is still eating though, but he's not eating daily, but there is a day he eats. That's his different problem. I don't know why he's living that lifestyle though. But anyway, the point is everybody eats. Everybody has to eat. Everybody eats. No one can say they're not eating, right? So we depend on the food. We depend on the food, right? So how the food is created, right? That's the second thing. That's the second dependency. We need food. How the food is made, how the food is created from the earth. Krishna is talking about, like, second step, like, animals eat and we eat animals. So Krishna is not talking about that. Krishna is talking about the food we get from the earth, right? So fruits, various vegetables, various grains, rice, wheat, so many things we get from earth only, not from sky. Food, various grains doesn't drop from the sky, right? Or naturally manifest from the from my desk. That won't happen. Right? It's a natural process that comes from the earth itself, from the mud, from the earth. Right? Foods, all the food stuff are created from the earth. And what earth is dependent upon, we dependent on the food. Food is created from earth. What earth is dependent upon, that is the third thing, right? That is dependent upon rains, water, rain, right? It's a natural rain, not from the water we take from the tap, but it's a natural rain. The rain's natural water that is we get from the sky, in short, from the clouds and sky, right? So the earth depends on rains, and we get all the necessities. I mean, all the food is produced from the earth. And then the question comes, how the rains are produced? So that is yajna bhavati parjanyo. How the rains are produced? By doing yajna. Krishna is using this word yajna again and again, again and again. So yajna here literally meant, Krishna literally meant the fire sacrifice. In the previous ages, we used to do that. In the Satya Yuga and different Yuga cycles. Now we are in Kali Yuga, that is totally gone. Very few follow. But Krishna is literally meaning this fire sacrifice. Now it's in temples, we can see, different pujaris, they do fire sacrifice for various things. So yeah, when you do this yajna, to whom? To the demigods, right? All these Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, all these demigods, when they are pleased, they shower the rain on this earth planet, right? So the step 4, then a little higher, right? We are getting the rain from the demigods. They are producing the rain, but what we need to do, how the rain is produced? How, from the demigods, they are pleased. How, what, by what kind of activity when we do, they are pleased, right? So that is our prescribed duties. So where the prescribed duties are mentioned in the Vedas, how we got the Vedas from the Lord, right? And Krishna towards the Tasmat Nityam Vigna Pratishta. Krishna towards the end, he says, I am that fire sacrifice. So let's understand, it's a little complicated. Let's understand this picture. So we have I have a simple picture and a long, bigger picture. So here Krishna is saying, when we need food, we perform this fire sacrifice. It goes to the demigods. Demigods are pleased. They shower rains, and we get all the food stuff. And we have to offer it back. That's what Krishna has been saying in the set of verses. We have to offer it back. We have that obligation to offer it back, right? When you offer it back, not all the food stuff we prepare, just a thank you, right? Patram pushpam phalam toyam, something, right? So one banana will be offered to the in yajna, right? When you do the end of the yajna, one banana will be offered, right? Like that. So simple thing, a thank you, as a gratitude when you take from the celestial beings, right? When you offer to them, they are pleased, and this cycle maintains. This is a full cycle. So look at the longer, bigger picture here. From the God, all the Vedas are manifested. Vedas means a manual for humanity, which helps us to know how to live in this life, how to live in this world, what to follow, what not to follow, right? So all those details are given. That is, prescribed duties are given, right? By following our prescribed duties, when we do yajna, basically physical fire sacrifice, right? Demigods are pleased. We get food grains, and we sustain by eating the food, and we also have to offer it back to the Supreme Lord. And this cycle continues. So one may ask, why this law exists, right? This is a nature law. Krishna is saying, this is my law, this is a nature law. Right? Why does this need to exist? So there is a nice joke here. So a person who is crossing the road, there's a traffic signal, he's crossing the road, he sees a red light, right? A red light means everybody has to stop. But this person saw a buffalo going, Buffalo going crossing the red signal. He looks at buffalo and he thought like, yeah, why not let me also go? He also went. Then the police officer catches him and gives him a ticket. And this person questions, hey, why are you giving me a ticket? No, that buffalo is going like that and you're not catching that buffalo. And this police officer says, hey, because you are a bigger buffalo. Because you're a bigger buffalo, I need to give a ticket. So that means this person not following the rules and regulations, right? So just a joke. So, I mean, this laws of nature, what to be followed, what not to be followed, this doesn't exist for other living entities like ant, a dog, or cat, or not like any other living entities. This manual for humanity, Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas are meant for humans only, right? One has to follow this. One has to follow this, right? And there is a nice story in Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, a king called Vena. He's a very, very sinful person. He lived a life of sinful, right? And all the people also become like that. In his people, all his subjects also become like that, very, very sinful, committed all kinds of sinful activities. So at that time, like Mother Earth thought, like, I can't produce any more food grains from this. Right? There are no proper rains. There are now no proper rains, no proper facilities are given, right, from the celestial beings. They had a hard time, right? So that time Lord appears as Lord appears, I'm not telling my name, but Lord appears there, and he puts, he cultivates the land and everything gets produced. So in short, so if you're not following the cycle, demigods are not pleased, and there is a scarcity of resources, natural resources, right? So in the material nature also, in this nature also, there's always disturbance, right? So there are no proper rains, there is extreme heat, extreme cold, because of people are not following this process of yajna. I mean, it doesn't mean we are not getting, like we are still getting, we're getting rain, we still have oxygen to breathe, right? So these are all being provided. So just like if you're not paying taxes to the government still provides, but we'll be fined. As simple as that. Government still provides, but will be fined, right? So similarly, from the nature, God provides, but if you're not offering back as a gratitude to them, we are breaking the cycle, and we will get karma, new karma. So Krishna says, what if one doesn't follow? That is the next verse we'll see. What if one doesn't follow this cycle, right? Who doesn't study the Vedas, doesn't do any yajna, right? Doesn't offer the food to the Lord. Krishna really is a strong words here. In the previous verse, he said thief. in verse before that, he said, life is a sin. Eats only sin. Whatever he eats without offering to the God, he eats only sin. And in this verse, he's saying he leads a life of sin. His entire life is ruination, ruined. So we'll see this verse. 3:16 evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartyatihayah aghayurindriya ramo mogham parda sajivati. Translation: my dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice thus established by the Vedas certainly leads a life full of sin, living only for the satisfaction of senses. Such a person lives in vain. In short, Krishna is saying, the cycle he made, the process he made, we are not abiding to the law of nature. We are leading a sinful life. That's why Krishna is saying, Aghayur Indriya Ramo. One who takes from the nature, eats for his own enjoyment. Right? Such a person is eating only sin. He's living a life of sinful life. He's living a life of sin. So that's a problem. What is the solution? Right? Krishna already given the solution. The solution is do yajna, a sacrifice. Live a life of a sacrifice, not for personal enjoyment, right? That's what the path of Karma Yoga. Krishna is driving Arjuna towards Karma Yoga here. Do it for the higher purpose. So we'll analyze this in the, I have a nice slides upcoming. So we'll go in detail. So Vedas, scriptures, who are not different from the Supreme Lord. That is given by the Supreme Lord, a higher authority, right? And the sacrifice is a must. One has to live a life of sacrifice, not exploiting the material nature, using everything for our enjoyment, but we are obligated to do this various yajna, right? And live a life of sacrifice. So if one doesn't follow this cycle, he lives a sinful life, engages in sense gratification, enjoying through eyes, nose, ears, all these senses, and simply waste a human life. Human life which is rarely attained. He lives a life only for sense enjoyment, not following this process of rules and regulations given by Krishna. He lives a sinful life. I know this is quite heavy. It's not so pleasing to hear, right? So if Krishna says like, do whatever you want, eat whatever you want, do whatever you want, no rules and regulations, like, if a teacher says to the children, do whatever you want, and children will be really happy. The students in the classroom, they'll really be happy, but there will be so much chaos in the classroom, right? Right? They don't even follow a nice life. They don't even study in the classroom, right? So that's why our teacher, ultimate teacher is Supreme Lord, is giving all these instructions for us only, for our purification only. Okay, we talked about this yajna. So there is nice verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. I mean, we are not doing yajna. We're not following all these processes, which is the complicated processes. The easiest path Krishna has given is watering the root. Watering the root. So the process here is, so, I mean, what happens when we water the root? Entire tree is nourished, right? So we don't need to go and water the leaves, branches, twigs. We just water the root, entire tree is nourished, right? So when we are hungry, we just put the food into our stomach, entire body is nourished, right? We don't feed our hands, we don't feed our brain, right? The system is so nice, right? We just put in our stomach, entire body is nourished. So when we do this yajna, the yajna, right, this is the verse here. Simply worshipping the Supreme Lord by practicing devotional services. Even though we are not doing all this yajnas what given by Krishna, not studying Vedas, right? Or not, we have this obligation to demigods, also celestial beings, right? If you're not doing though, you're still okay, you're fine. Okay, no problem. Krishna is giving assurance that when you take up devotional service, become the devotee of Lord and please the Supreme Lord. When the Lord is pleased, and He is going to take care of all our bad karmas, and we don't need to please all these celestial beings. Right? That's called watering the root. When the Lord is pleased by our activities, by our actions, and when we offer the food to the Supreme Lord, like that is offering Krishna is talking about, the sacrifice, not for your enjoyment. You give it back first. before we put food in our mouth, Krishna is saying you offer it to the God and eat it. Then there is no sin. Krishna is talking about do yajna and offer to the demigods. This is a difference. I want to say do yajna and offer to the demigods. That is one process. Second process, easiest process is give it to the ultimate person, the Supreme Lord. When He is satisfied, everybody is satisfied. Okay. So little bit more about this yajna. We live a life of yajna. We don't know, knowingly or unknowingly, we do this. We live a life of yajna, right? So simple example, if a student is studying for examination, if the student has to get good grades, he also has to do yajna, that is sacrifice. What kind of sacrifice? He has various options. He could go to movies or hang out with friends, drink alcohol, or he could do many things. But if he sacrifices all those things for a higher purpose, to learn education, that is a sacrifice, right? And he sacrifices for a higher purpose, there is a higher result. He get good grades. Right? So we live a life of yajna, or every action is a sacrifice, right? Even we work at home, we go to office and we work, we are sacrificing our personal enjoyment for a higher purpose, that is salary, in simple. We're sacrificing all our enjoyments. We could have gone to Florida or many places to enjoy, but we are restricting ourselves, even though we don't like, even though we don't like to work, we sit and work for a higher purpose, that is we get salary. Right? So that's integral part of our life. The sacrifice is integral part of the life. We do that all the time, right? And even food also, we could eat any kind of food, but if someone is going through some problems, there is a limitation, restrictions. That is a sacrifice again. He has to restrict himself to eat only certain type of food which will helps in his body, which fits his body needs, right? That's a sacrifice. And we are all sitting and listening Bhagavatam, that is also a sacrifice. Bhagavad Gita, that's also a sacrifice, right? We could do many things. I mean, we can watch TV, hang out with friends, and do many kind of things, but we are sitting and listening and trying to learn Bhagavad Gita. That is also a sacrifice. That is also a sacrifice. Our life is a sacrifice. Right? We do that all the time. And what Krishna is driving Arjuna towards, and also message to us, is live a life of sacrifice for a higher purpose, not for a material purpose. So if this person is sacrificing his time, personal enjoyment, to sit at the office and do work, office work, because his purpose is getting a salary. That's it, right? And Krishna is saying this, that is one thing that is material, but spiritual is live a life of a sacrifice to attain liberation. Right? You can do many things in this world, personal enjoyments. Right? There are so many things available in this world. But when one takes up the path of spirituality, devotional services, the easiest way, the path of bhakti yoga, that's also a sacrifice. When one takes up that sacrifice for a higher purpose, to attain the Supreme Lord, to attain liberation, to break the cycle of birth and death, that is the ultimate sacrifice we could do. And how to do that? Krishna says in later verse of Bhagavad Gita, in 10th chapter, basically, the Japa Yajna, chanting the holy name of the Lord. So we are in the Kali Yuga, right? So controlling the mind, controlling the senses is quite hard. It's quite hard. In the previous ages, that was an easy process, but now it's super impossible. We can try out, we can do for 1 week or 2 weeks. It's quite hard. That's why the greatest benediction given to this Kali Yuga, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Kevalam, Kalo Nastieva, 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 Gatiranyada. Hare Nama, the holy name of the Lord, is the only way. Nastieva, no other way. Nastieva, no other way. It's been given 3 times. Nastieva, 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 no other way, no other way, no other way. In this age of Kali, that is the only way. I mean, we can try out and see other ways, but this is the only way, easier, simpler way. This is a sacrifice one could do for personal benefit, for a higher goal to attain liberation. So that completes the section of this Karma Kanda. Krishna talked about the sacrifice, the yajna. Right? So we have 2 more minutes. Maybe we can start this other section. I'll give an overview of this section. So in this section, Krishna talks about, basically in the previous section, Krishna talked about how the system, everybody has to work in the system, in the creation he created, in this universe, everybody has that obligation. Everybody has to work. If one doesn't work, eating the food for his own enjoyment or anything, like taking the natural resources, breathing also, right? So he is just living a life of sinful life of sin, right? So one has to take this process of karma kanda, like offer it to the Lord. That's what Krishna said, offer it to the Lord, and Lord's demigods are pleased, they provide the facilities and live a happy life. And the next section, Krishna talks about the even if a person is ready for liberation, is already on the liberated platform, he still has to work. Krishna, in the previous sections, he talked about normal people, general mass of people, why they have to work, and what is the right way to work. That's what he covered. And next session, he covers about the highest people, the people at the highest stage, a self-realized soul. Even they are obligated to work, but they do to set an example, right? Simple example is, I mean, if a student is studying for examination, same thing. If she gets a good grades all the time, all the good grades, the teacher doesn't stay, okay, you don't study. And teacher still says, okay, you study, you continue study, because you said you need to set an example. You need to set an example. That's what Krishna is saying. Even though a person is a self-realized soul, he still has to work. He still has to work to set an example. Okay, I think it's 7:30 already. It's quite a lot of information, so I'll stop here. This is a nice section. Here Krishna talks about, and he also gives the examples, also practical examples, why one has to work. Even the self-realized people also work because they have a duty, that is to set an example for ordinary people. Okay, I'll stop here. If you have any questions or thoughts or sharings, we can take now.